Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to my Ninja Turtles channel. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you're having a great day. We are going to have a fun show. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary. Can you believe it? 20 years of the 2003 show. We're going to go over some other news too about Tom Waltz, the writer for the IDW Ninja Turtles comics, and some other cool stuff. So type a T in the chat if you like the Ninja Turtles. Type a T in the comments if you like the Ninja Turtles. Let's get ready and let's go! Welcome to my Ninja Turtles channel. It is 7 p.m. in the Big Apple, and this is the Ninja Turtles show. How are you? Cowabunga! Your weekly live stream every Turtle Tuesday covering Ninja Turtles news, toys, comics, cartoons, video games, and more. Whatever the show we want. And today's show is going to be fun. We're talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be reviewing some videos. We're going to be talking about Tom Waltz, and we are going to be celebrating 20 years of the 2003 show. Can you believe it's been 20 years? What a cool show. So thank you for joining me. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great week. How's everybody in the chat doing? The chat is moving today. Who do we have? Fan47, Mr. Turtle, SR Striker, Budward, Big and Soft Raffy. How are you? We've got Leonardo, Celeste.
What you will with me, Shredder.
A lot of people. Toidle, your boy Styles is in the chat. How are you doing, everybody? Thank you for joining me. Everyone is celebrating. The Rise people are celebrating. 20 years. The 2012 show is celebrating for the 2003 show. Even the original 1987 Turtles are all celebrating. Big day. 20 years of a show. What an anniversary. So thank you for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. Like the video, subscribe to my Ninja Turtles channel here on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for another installment of the Ninja Turtles show. Make sure to send in some chats, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And of course, like I said, like and subscribe. Also on Rumble, subscribe as well. Got that Andrew Tate video over there on Rumble. It's not on YouTube anymore. And follow on my TMNT channel on Twitter. Follow my TMNT channel on Twitter. So hope you're all doing well. I'm out of breath. I was yelling in that introduction. I was having a tough time. I didn't realize how demanding that would be. Jeez. So hope you're all having a great time. Hope you're having a great day. I wanted to go over some videos. Of course, in addition to these live streams, every Turtle Tuesday, I upload videos on Thursdays and Saturdays, shorter uploads. Shorter scripted videos. Wow, what an intro. Still out of breath. I'm out of shape. It's tough. You know you're out of shape when talking makes you out of breath. But yeah, in addition to these Turtle Tuesday live streams, upload videos on Thursday and Saturday, and just wanted to chat about them. We haven't really chatted about these and gone over them. So this Rise the TMNT one. Rise the TMNT movie was nominated for some awards. Any Rise the TMNT movie fans out there? This movie, this video blew up a bit. Mr. Turtle says, oh yeah, the Rise vid blew up a bit. Yeah, it got a lot of views on the first day. That was nice. I do not have Instagram, Budward. So, pretty cool. This video is pretty nice. I thought that was nice that the Rise movie was nominated for those awards. Pretty nice stuff. And the other video I uploaded a week or two ago was about the Ninja Turtles rap album. The guy did an EP with Ninja Turtles themed music. Did anybody check this album out or check out this video? Wasn't exactly my cup of tea as far as the music goes, but I thought some of it was pretty cool, and I thought it was cool that the guy decided to do a Ninja Turtles theme album. I thought that was really interesting. And it's like the MF Doom kind of cover is the rapper he's kind of referencing on the cover. And this video was a short video. Are the Ninja Turtles black? It was one of those provocative videos. You know, sometimes I like to touch those hot button subjects. I gotta say, I know this was kind of a controversial video. Maybe some, you know, call it controversial or whatever. Provocative. I noticed some other Ninja Turtles channels, they didn't even talk about it at all. They just take a really superficial kind of glaze. They just barely, they just bounce over these kind of things. I don't know. At least I said something about it. Other people don't say anything, so At least I'm providing some commentary and some depth and not just a superficial analysis. But a lot of people yelling in the comments of this one still. People are fighting in the comments. I've been called some names in the comments section of this video, of course. But thought it was neat to make a video like this and at least wanted to say something about it. I'm trying new stuff. Also, Mr. Turtle says you're the most political. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just come on here every week and say, what's your favorite kind of pizza? Who's your favorite turtle? I don't want to do like Wikipedia articles on these turtles. I don't want to just do like a generic summary, something that could have been generated by AI. But that's the way it goes. And that's fine with me. Another video I did was a little more fun and a little more light. It was 5 random Ninja Turtles products. So this was a funny one. This was kind of just a silly little video. And also, the Tails short. This was kind of a different style of video. This was kind of a different style of video. I wasn't, some people were happy I wasn't in this video at all. So this was a video with just a clip of Peter Laird doing an interview. And I synced it up with some music with that song that's like in every single meme. So I synced that up and it was kind of funny. It's kind of a, a gross video too at the same time. Peter Laird says that their tails look inappropriate and I zoomed in on their tails and it was just kind of a silly video, but I thought that was fun. I thought that was kind of like a meme thing. Online I see a bunch of like Ninja Turtles memes and I feel that they're disappointing and I wanted to try something like making a meme. I don't know how to do that. So this was my attempt. This was my stab at it. But yeah, the tails look fine to a lot of people. I saw Fan47 said they're no big deal and they look fine. That's how real turtles look. Also, another video, 20 years of the 2003 show. So this one just came out. I think the actual official anniversary is tomorrow. But this was a cool video, 20 years of the Ninja Turtles. I thought this was a celebration, of course, of the Ninja Turtles 20 years. And wanted to go over the 2003 show while we're here together. We can have a little bit of an extra celebration as well. Video's only a few minutes long, so it's tough to get everything in just a few minutes and make it concise and to the point and everything, but 2003 show is really great. It was the second animated show, of course, after the original 1987 show. All new voice actors, and it was handled in an independent way because Mirage Studios, the company of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the co-creators of the Ninja Turtles, Mirage Studios was a producer on the show, and they had like a more independent view of the show. They kind of did things on their own way. I think they had actors that were like non-union or something, but so they tried their own thing and they went their own way. This show was a lot more mature than the original show. It was a lot darker and more mature. It wasn't necessarily violent or gory, but it was a little bit heavier. It was a little bit more serious. It had a more serious tone. And I know Leonardo was like really out of it and angry and depressed in the 4th season. That was a really cool character arc, I thought. And they had continuity on the show instead of just one and done episodes like the original show. And like Next Mutation was a little goofy. It was very goofy. But it's just different stuff, different show. Got a good response for this video. I think this was a good video to make, and I was happy with the way it turned out. Shredder was really cool on the show. He was dark. He was like he was a violent, scary character. He had that crazy voice. Really interesting twist with Shredder as well. Asuron95 says, love the way Meet Casey Jones episode is spot on, panel for panel, for the Mirage comics for most of the episode. Yeah, they had a lot of Mirage Studios influence on these episodes. A lot of them were completely adapted. We went over Sons of the Silent Age a while ago. And a bunch of other episodes are like, not, straightforward. They're pretty much straightforward adaptations from the comics. So, neat stuff. Good show. And got a lot of cool comments on this video as well. Papyrus, frequent viewer, frequent commenter, great viewer of the channel, says 20 years later and still the best animated adaptation we've ever gotten. So Papyrus likes the 2003 show. Nordic Frost, another regular viewer, says the PS2 game for 2003 was like an interactive movie and is a must-play for fans of the series. Did any of you play the PS2 game? I didn't ever play this. I got into Turtles in 2016, so I never played the 2003 game. Linda says, I don't know if it's my favorite version because I barely remember some things, but it was my childhood and it will always be in my heart. And she gave a little emoji with a bunch of hearts. I thought that was really nice. Mr. Turtle played the PS2 game. Pretty nice stuff. And Speedo Kagan, the creator of the Last Ronin animation, almost 4 million views. Speedo Kagan comments, I love the 2003 show. Me too. And Daw88 says, probably the best TMNT cartoon so far. JR24, another frequent viewer, says, I love the show, but I do think some things could have been better. I agree. Bonjour, JR24, great comment. Show was really good, but some things could have been better. I think some people complain about the voice acting from time to time. Some people say the voice acting was a little stilted or a little bit awkward. Some of the voices were over the top. The voices were like over the top impressions. Raph's voice was too New York-y. Michelangelo was too much of a surfer. And some people say the Splinter voice is like a weird accent or something. But I thought the show was cool. It had Fugitoid in it. It was dark. It had the Triceratons. It had the arc with Baxter Stockman being punished by Shredder. And I thought the Ninja Tribunal Season 5, Ninja Tribunal was a little bit weird, but I loved Season 6. I thought it was fun and goofy. Season 7 was a little weak, the Back to the Sewer season. But great show. Casey Jones and April O'Neil, of course, were awesome. SR Striker, I think their voices are perfect, especially the Shredder. I thought the Shredder did a great voice. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I think it's Scott Rayo or something like that. But Mr. Turtle said, did any of you watch Jay's review, 8-part review of the series? I watched that too. It was like 8 hours of review. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So it was a great show. 20 years. Can you believe it? I think the mysticism stuff really inspired Rise of the TMNT. A lot of the mysticism stuff, the supernatural powers that were in Rise of the TMNT, a lot of that was featured in Season 5 of the 2003 show. And it was cool to see that updated and adapted and all that kind of stuff and brought into the new series. And of course, Usagi Yojimbo, the Ronin rabbit bodyguard. Who doesn't like Usagi Yojimbo, especially when he makes a cameo in the 2003 show? What a noble warrior. Big and Soft Raffi loves the art style of 2003. I do too. They had a neat design. They were less cartoony, less kind of Disney looking than the original cartoon show. They were more muscular. They were tougher. They didn't have pupils at all. Got some more comments on the video. Demagic says, I like how it was the first Turtles anything to depict Mikey as a serious character. Yes, same as it never was. Mikey was serious, and in the Battle Nexus stuff, he was the champion. And then Omega says, my favorite version in childhood show ever I love. I just love the theme song. Of course, the theme song was great. 1, 2, 3, 4, Turtles. Who doesn't love that? The Kin Core, I love TMNT 2003. SR Striker, I would compare the Utrom Shredder to Viljax from the original Ben 10 series. Nice comparison. And Mr. Turtle says, we're going to be celebrating on the 8th. And that's true. We are celebrating. What a show. We are having a party. I've got the air horn sound effect. And it was a really good show. A lot of unresolved stuff, SR Striker says. And it has a lot of guts. Yeah, they didn't have pupils. They looked more masculine. They had big muscles. They were tough looking. The stakes seemed, it was kind of tough. They had a tough look to them. And it seemed like, they could get killed and it would matter in the show. It wasn't just a goofy thing where everything gets reset at the end of 30 minutes. And even though they didn't have pupils, they were still very expressive. The Turtles design reminds me of a little bit of the Michael Dooney designs. Michael Dooney from the comics. One of the original Mirage Studios artists. Great artist, Michael Dooney. A little bit of Jim Lawson Turtles. Sometimes they have a little bit of an angular edge that reminds me of the way Jim Lawson draws the Turtles, back from the old Mirage Studios comics as well. And of course, Peter Laird. One of the co-creators, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman, co-creators of the Ninja Turtles. Peter Laird was a heavy influence on the show. He was highly involved, and I think it turned out great. So that's a little wrap-up of the 20 years of the TMNT 2003 show. Can you believe it? 20 years. Any final words before we move on? Any final words? And the thing is, if you if you haven't had enough of the TMNT 2003, can't talk today. Ever since that intro, I've been out of breath the whole show. I can't catch my breath. I'm just so excited. I can't help it. Cruised in on the battle shell. I was just having a blast. If you haven't had your fill yet of the TMNT 2003 show, our good friend of the channel, Teddy Gaming Review, another Ninja Turtles channel, Teddy Gaming Review, got some of the cast together and is premiering a video tomorrow. So, if you haven't had your fill yet, go over to Teddy Gaming Review's channel tomorrow, another Ninja Turtles channel. Great guy from the UK. He got the cast together, or at least a portion of the cast, and he's premiering a video tomorrow. And I think tomorrow is the official 20-year anniversary, so we're early. So good job for Teddy Gaming Review for getting the cast together. And that's one last time for people to celebrate 20 years. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003 series. The Fox series, 2K3, 4Kids, a lot of different names for this show. Goes by a lot of different names, and it's a great show. Teddy Gaming Review in the chat. Hello and welcome. Turtles Forever. So that's the portion of the show when we talk about the past animated show from 2003. What a good show. And 20-year anniversary. We're celebrating a lot of anniversaries, it seems. We just celebrated the 2012 show, celebrating 2003, and in a little bit we're going to be celebrating the 1993 movie number 3, where they travel back in time. So like I said, make sure to go check out Teddy Gaming Review tomorrow for that premiere. And another thing from the Turtles past, which has recently come up, the comic strips, which were produced in the early 90s or late 80s or something like that. I think they came out in the early 90s. Comic strips in the daily, newspapers. People used to get newspapers delivered to their houses, and the Ninja Turtles had a daily comic strip where they would produce one of these little comics. So there's 3 comics on the stream right now. So each comic strip was like 4 little panels, and they pretty much have a little setup and then a little punchline at the end. They were all kind of funny, but the comics still had continuity. These daily comic strips that were found in the newspaper. You know, just like, trying to think of another, like Dilbert is a comic strip, or The Family Circus is a comic strip in newspapers. I don't know how many newspapers are still in circulation and stuff, but this is one of those weird old vintage things that featured the Ninja Turtles, so it's a great thing. And the comics also had continuity, so from like Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday, it would tell a story. And they would tell a story over the course of weeks and months. So you'd get a little portion of the story each day, and each 4 panels is what you would get each day. So this is 3 days worth of comic strips. And these have long been out of print, of course. They were in daily newspapers, and they were tough to find. There was only like fan compilations and fan PDFs. And recently on Amazon, they were collected. There was 3 collections, 3 volumes released, collecting the entirety, I think, of the Ninja Turtles comic strip collection. So you used to only be able to get these, like fan peer-to-peer services, downloading them online, and all that kind of stuff. So they were collected online. I think it's a fan collecting it, of course. It's a self-published service. It doesn't appear to be official. There's no, logos on it or anything. So I'm sorry if I'm blowing their cover, but I did want to mention this, and it's really cool that they collected all of them. So you can see there are 3 different volumes, and the first one here is volume 1, 90 to 91. And this one is actually, they were printed in black and white in newspapers. And this one was actually colored in manually after the fact. Yeah, these are on Amazon. All 3 are on Amazon. And this is volume 2, covers 1991 to 93. And volume 3, 94 to 96. Yeah, all 3 are on Amazon, and they're available now. So volume 1 only covers 2 years, and this actually covers the Hero Turtles comic strip. It's over 300 daily strips from 1990 to 91, and this ran in the UK markets. It features all the characters like Shredder, Krang, Baxter, Stockman. And they've been kind of retouched. I don't know how much retouching they've done. I guess the scans are still pretty rough. It's 88 pages long, this first book, so it's a little bit of a short book, 88 pages, but 300 daily strips. Pretty cool. And the second book, volume 2, goes from 91 to 93, and this book isn't colored in. It's in black and white, the original format. just black and white, like it was printed in the black and white newspaper, just like the original comics, black and white. And this one, so over 1,600 daily strips were produced from 91 to 96. They're split into 2 volumes. And they were kind of based on the original cartoon show, and they were kind of based on the Archie comics, but they did their own thing. They told their own stories, they had their own continuity, but it was very, very similar to the original cartoon and the Archie's Adventures comics. So this is kind of an unread thing for a lot of people. It's not really collected. It's not a real popular kind of thing. But they're pretty good. They're done by all the same people, the Mirage Studios people, Dan Berger. He was a popular Mirage Studios guy, artist and writer, I think. And the first book, Volume 2, contains the first 4 story arcs. And they have other kings, Rat King, Wingnut, all the familiar characters you know and love. And Volume 3, 94 to 96. 94 to 96. Pretty cool stuff. The final collection of daily strips collected together in one book. And they have the little description on the back. Familiar faces like Utroms, Cuddly the Cowlick, Leatherhead, Casey Jones, Triceratons, Renette, and more. And you can see they have Utroms, but you can see the scans of the turtles. They're a little rough. It does look like a copy of a newspaper, and it's not the nicest. It hasn't been touched up like you would expect it to. It's not remastered. It's not redone or anything. Oh, we're all typing T in the chat. Leonardo's typing T. Celeste is typing T. T for British. T for British. T for turtles. And T for the hero turtles, of course. T for the hero turtles. That's how they were known in the UK. I guess you couldn't say the word ninja. And it's great that these are being released. And like I said, they're about $30 a piece, like $29.95 and stuff. So it ends up being about $90 for all 3 volumes. But it is like almost 2,000 daily strips covering 6 years. And it's stuff that really hasn't been found or packaged anywhere before, except peer-to-peer downloading sites and trading and stuff. So I don't know what the legality is of this self-published stuff. I don't know who owns the copyright and if they're really going to pursue anything. But otherwise, there's just scans and stuff like that. I remember people would go to like libraries and look up like old newspapers. They have like old newspapers archived in libraries, and they would like scan them and stuff. I read online, but a lot of dedication. But overall, these books look pretty good. I guess they're about 7 by 10 inches, so they're about the size of a comic book, a little bit bigger than a comic book. And pretty neat. So I just wanted to share this with you. 3 volumes of the daily comic strip that was printed in newspapers back from the early 90s. This is classic Turtle Mania kind of stuff in the early 90s. So available now, $90 on Amazon. You can just search for Ninja Turtles comic strips or something like that. And it's a self-published, self-printed kind of thing. It might be a fan project. Just wanted to pass along. Maybe you'll enjoy that if you enjoy the classic comics. But if you enjoy the modern comics, any fans of the modern comics out there? I know a lot of vintage Mirage Studios fans out there of the classic stuff, and a lot of fans of the new stuff too. Last Ronin, Lost Years. The Last Ronin, Lost Years. A Last Ronin story, The Lost Years, pardon me. So this came out, and there was some cool stuff in it that caused, a lot of excitement. Over the past week, there was a reveal in the Lost Years comic. There was a reveal in this comic book, which came out, which was written by Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators of the Ninja Turtles on the right. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, co-creators of the Ninja Turtles. Kevin Eastman is a big writer on this, The Lost Years. He's a writer with Tom Waltz. And Tom Waltz also does the IDW comics, the main ongoing series. Over 100 issues of the IDW comics. And it was revealed in this issue there would be 4 new turtles, a new generation of turtles. We talked about this last week. New turtles, new names, new personalities, new colors, new generation. New turtles. Names are Uno, Yi, Moya, and Odin. And they're cute, they're toddlers in this issue. And it caused a lot of opinions. Some people said they liked it. Some people said they were on the fence. They were open to it. They were kind of waiting and seeing how it goes. And a lot of opinions. Some people were happy. Some people were sad over the past week. Some people thought it was stupid. And a lot of these comments and reactions, a lot of these reactions were involving Tom Waltz, one of the writers of the last Ronin comic book miniseries and also the Lost Years miniseries. Tom Waltz is a writer for IDW, of course. Been a writer for a long time. I guess he's worked for IDW since 2006. And been on the Turtles since 2011. He wrote 100 issues, the first 100 issues he's written. He's got a very nice smile as well, I have to say. He's got a nice, happy face. He was a writer. Now his Twitter bio says he's the group editor / creative development at IDW. Former U.S. Marine, eternal optimist, hair metal aficionado, all opinions my own. So, got a lot of personality. Former U.S. Marine, eternal optimist. I'm jealous of the eternal optimist. He's got a happy face, like I said. He's got a happy... He looks like an optimist. He looks like a happy guy. This is the guy that wrote the first 100 issues of the IDW comics. He looks like a regular guy. You could walk past him at the store, you wouldn't even know what he looks like. He's a Ninja Turtles legend. He's a hero. And a lot of the reactions to the last Ronin Lost Years were directed at him. And a lot of this discussion was going on online, on social media, and of course, on the Technodrome forums. The Technodrome forums is a Ninja Turtle message board conversation forum. It started in 1999, so this is like the original OG social media for Ninja Turtles. This thing has been around for almost 25 years. So before social media, this was where people talked about Ninja Turtles. It's a Ninja Turtles forum, so only Ninja Turtles fans join. And like I said, a lot of the criticism was directed towards Tom Waltz, the writer, one of the co-writers, and on the Technodrome forums. And Tom Waltz is a member on the Technodrome forums. So people were talking about the last Ronin Lost Years, and someone wrote that their names, Odin, Uno, Moya, and Yi, all mean one in different languages. And you can see Tom Waltz here with the Splinter profile picture. Tom Waltz replied, and he said, "Methinks you're onto something, my friend." He gave a little smiley face. So he's giving little sneak information on the Technodrome forum. He's participating. And it's cool that... So one means something. Maybe these are just going to be the first wave of the new generation of Turtles. Maybe there's going to be a second wave with all new names and new personalities. There's going to be 8 new Ninja Turtles, not just 4. And he's given a little hint about something. But the conversation continued, and a lot of people say the Technodrome forum is toxic. A lot of people find it unpalatable. They don't like being on the Technodrome forum. They think people are just negative there, and they only share criticism. They don't share anything positive, and they say it's like people, because it's such an old platform, they say all the people on it are old. And so they kept on criticizing and saying negative things about IDW. They talked about the stock price going from 50 to 1. Like I have as well. I've criticized Tom Waltz before. Hopefully I've done it in a positive, constructive criticism kind of way. I'm entitled to my opinion like anyone else. But they kept picking on him, and he kind of eventually started pushing back. And they were complaining about how IDW releases too many variant covers, and they're trying to extract money from their customers. And they were saying it in a very nefarious way, like IDW is such an evil company, they're just trying to extract money by releasing variant covers. And I kind of view that as they're just offering product to people who might want to buy it. So no one's being forced to buy a comic book, and it's just like if you buy one Ninja Turtles thing, you're more likely to buy another Ninja Turtles thing. I don't think that's what a business does. You bought one of our products, then you might like to buy another one. So Tom Waltz defends IDW and defends his work, and he says, no, TMNT to IDW is legitimately and consistently doing pretty good for us, in some cases far better than expected. And he says there's a demand for all these variant covers, and it's not because IDW is in trouble, even though, their financial situation, the stock price, that's only one piece of the puzzle. And he goes on to say that generally speaking, it's a great time to be a TMNT fan and creator right now across multiple mediums. Lots going on behind the scenes, far more than has been announced publicly, and not just at IDW. So Tom Waltz is saying there's more going on with the Ninja Turtles than just IDW. So across multiple mediums, so not just comic books. He might be talking about a Ninja Turtles video game. He might be talking about Ninja Turtles TV shows, the villain-driven movies that are coming out to Paramount Plus. He could be talking about a Last Ronin animation adaptation for the, a show featuring The Last Ronin, a movie featuring Last Ronin. So he pushes back a little bit. He's kind of getting pressed. A bunch of people are just, they're nagging at him over and over and over. And he says, I just work at IDW and some of the other stuff, so I'm sure you'll call me a liar. Won't be the first time. Turtle power, peace be with you. But the fans on the Technodrome forum, the posters just keep pushing and pushing on him, and they post a recent news article from January 31st this year that says IDW Publishing reports major losses. And they revealed in the last 90 days that IDW lost over $1 million, which is a lot of money. Of course, IDW lost over $1 million. But it's not the end-all be-all of a company. Sometimes they make a lot of money, sometimes they do way better than expected, and some quarters you don't do as well as other quarters. And for such a big company, restructuring, losing $1 million on paper might not be the biggest thing. A lot of things have changed. So Tom Waltz at this point, he's had it. He's been pressed long enough on this forum. All these Ninja Turtles fans are coming after him. They're relentless. He feels they're being negative, and he finally says enough. And he posts this long post essentially saying that he quits the Technodrome forums. Splinter's Dojo in the chat says Technodrome's forums has always been toxic. They're kind of mirage elitists. So people know about the Technodrome forums, and Tom Waltz says he's essentially had it at this point. He's essentially saying, I'm done with it. A final message for all Technodrome folks reading this. And he says, IDW TMNT is not ending at 150. We're planning years on multiple TMNT fronts. IDW is not going anywhere, no matter how much the constant doomsayers, whine about it on this platform. He knows a lot more about IDW than anyone else. And he goes on to say that for the people complaining about IDW and their choices, he says, there's no liberal agenda, there's no conservative agenda. I don't identify with or subscribe to either political party. He says he's a registered independent. And he says that's a good thing to, send a message to the powers that be that we're not going to just blindly adhere to two sides of the same corrupt coin anymore. So a little bit of an anti-establishment, anti-government kind of theme. He's definitely an independent guy, definitely a free thinker. And he basically just says he's tired of the platform. He's tired of the whining. He's tired of the complaining. He calls it petty bickering. And I kind of understand where he's coming from. I mean, social media, forums, you're just reading other people's opinions, and it can be a little bit annoying and stuff like that. So he says, believe me or not, and as for this forum, the Ninja Turtles forum, he says, I think it's time I step away. Don't get me wrong, there's some amazing folks, but it's just not worth it for him. The juvenile bickering, he says he's too old, it's a personal decision, and he knows he's going to encounter some criticism for it. But I mean, I kind of understand where he's coming from. I don't blame him at all. I'm not even a member on the Technodrome forum. I never even signed up. I just read, I just lurk. But so I kind of understand him. I'm a little, it's nice to quit stuff like that. I bet that feels good for him. And he says the positive threads just aren't worth it. It's just too much nonsense. And too many people just whining all the time. And he goes on to say that every time he goes to the forum, he just feels stupid and it's annoying and he feels like he's banging his head up against the wall. And he says, I can't decide if I'm dealing with a bunch of angry old men or angry little kids when I'm here most of the time. So great line, great writer, of course. I love when a writer quits something. He doesn't just say I quit. He puts out like a 900 word essay on why he quits. What a great writer. He totally articulates all his points in a very good fashion. He doesn't just say, I quit, F you. He goes into detail about why he's quitting, and he hates contributing to the platform, and he feels it's just a negative place, and he hates contributing to that. And he closes his resignation letter from the TMNT forums. Of course, he's not going to quit writing for the Ninja Turtles comic books. He's just quitting this Ninja Turtles social media platform. And he says thanks to everyone that welcomed me, and he finishes by saying, be good to each other. Let go of the mainstream media-driven cults of division, and remember we're in this together. Do the research, think for yourself, don't be divided, don't be conquered. See y'all in the funny papers. Tom W. So he signs out, like a boss, don't be divided, don't be conquered. gives a little advice. Tom Waltz saying goodbye to the Technodrome forums. And, you know, people have accused me of being toxic. I got a lot of criticism on some videos that I'm toxic as well. Sometimes I say stuff purposely just to be controversial, just to troll a little bit, just to get a reaction out of people. So he gives this nice 900-word essay. What a boss, what a writer. And I've criticized him as well. I'm not innocent or anything. Maybe I've been out of line criticizing him or something, but I agree with some of the stuff he said. I disagree with some of the stuff he said. I like his writing. With Ninja Turtles, I pretty much get everything Ninja Turtles, and I'm not going to love all of it. I'm not going to give everything a 10 out of 10. But it's some good advice out there. He says enough, you know, put a little bit extra love into the world, put a little bit of positivity out there, and it's, you know, it's idealistic, but it is nice. It's a good way to live, of course. And, I don't know. It's a little bit difficult. It's a, you know, it's a tough thing for Tom Waltz, but I respect him doing it. It's a good choice. He's standing by it. Maybe he'll quit permanently. Maybe he'll never go back. Honestly, I don't know why he made this big post. Forums like this are dying anyway. He could have just not posted, and like the 12, you know, there's like 12, 50 people, 100 people that still post there frequently. They probably just wouldn't notice after a while that he's gone. But they've had other Ninja Turtle creators that have quit the platform before. I think maybe Kevin Eastman was on the platform at one point, or Ciro Nielli from the 2012 TMNT show. They quit as well. And other people that have been on the platform, they quit as well. I think Sophie Campbell used to be on the platform, and Sophie Campbell quit. So, you know, it's one of those tough things. As a Ninja Turtle fan, you don't have to love every single thing, and it probably does get toxic a little bit. People say I'm toxic too, so who knows? So that's Tom Waltz quitting the Technodrome forums after 12 years. Tom Waltz, great writer, his decision, and I just thought that was interesting. This is kind of like a Ninja Turtles behind-the-scenes drama kind of thing, but I just thought that'd be interesting to pass along. And he's still writing on the Armageddon games, of course, and still pushing forward on that. Still writing on the Lost Years, Last Ronin comic books, and apparently, according to his post, he teased he's doing some other stuff as well. In addition to the IDW stuff, he's working with other companies, and I don't know who those other companies are. But, so, you know, a lot of the stuff in the past few years is the criticism for Sophie Campbell, and maybe he caught some shrapnel for that. Sophie Campbell definitely got a lot of criticism. Some of it is deserved, some of it maybe not as deserved. Who knows? It's all personal opinion. So that was just a little story about Tom Waltz quitting the Technodrome forums. And, you know, if I ever have said anything out of line or something that's offended him, at the core of it, I think he's a great writer. I prefer his writing style. He wrote 100 issues of the Ninja Turtles comic books. I think he's very talented. So it's just, you know, I'm sure he has criticisms for me too if he watched every single one of my videos. I pay whatever, $3.99 for each one of his comic books. If he paid $3.99 to watch each one of my videos, I'm sure he'd have some criticisms as well. And it's, some people have the attitude, if you like Ninja Turtles, you just have to like everything, and you can't criticize anything, and you just have to like it all and just be so thankful just to get anything. You just have to be thankful to get anything and just say, you know, thank you, even if you don't like it. And I don't know, you're allowed to share your opinion. I'm allowed to share mine. I encourage all of you, if you have something to say, create a Ninja Turtles channel, create a blog, share your opinion. I think that's cool. Everyone should be able to say whatever they want. You know, for the most part, say whatever you want. I don't care. But, so that's Tom Waltz quitting the Technodrome forums. That's an interesting story. Luckily, he's not quitting writing Ninja Turtles comic books. So that is some of the older stuff. And if you want newer stuff, Armageddon game continues. I checked it out the other day. We're over 60% through the Armageddon game. I totaled up the issues, and 60% of the way through. The story is over half finished. And now that we're into February, The Alliance, number 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Armageddon game, The Alliance, number 4, comes out tomorrow. What a long title for a comic book. And it is written and drawn by Sophie Campbell, the great Sophie Campbell. Big contribution to the Ninja Turtles. And like I said, I've criticized Tom Waltz, I've criticized Sophie Campbell. They've made a great contribution, and I appreciate that, and I'm thankful for that. But yeah, of course, I have opinions and criticisms, and that's fine if you ask me. Mr. Turtle says the comic's been underwhelming, not gonna lie. It is a little bit, at over 60% of the way through, I would like it to have progressed further at this point. It still feels like we're building up to something, but we'll see where it goes. Big and Soft Raffi says, is that a shark? And yes, that is a shark. That is Bludgeon. So Bludgeon and Venus de Milo, the female turtle, are on the cover. Bludgeon and Venus de Milo share some sort of bond. They share some sort of spiritual, mystical bond, as does Donatello. Donatello is somehow involved as well, and they released a preview of this today, and looks pretty cool. So these are nice. These are nice issues that supplement the main Armageddon game. This is a mini-series of a mini-series. Toidle says, I honestly don't care for IDW no more, and I hate to say it. Yeah, I know a lot of people have dropped off, and after the comic's been running for 12 years, you're going to have some sort of readership churn. You're going to have readers fall off, and you're going to get new readers, and you're going to lose readers, and, you know, a lot changes over 12 years. People grow up. Some people weren't born when this thing started, or they were just toddlers. You know, they were little kids. They didn't even read when this came out. Now they're new fans. They came in with Rise and stuff like that, so pretty neat stuff. Venus de Milo and Bludgeon coming out tomorrow. The Armageddon game, The Alliance #4. The mini-series to a mini-series. And there's a sixth issue of The Alliance coming out as well. So pretty nice stuff. We're not on the home stretch yet of the Armageddon game, but we're getting there to an extent. We're almost 2/3 of the way through, and it should be finishing up later this year in a few months. They have it listed right now going through April. We'll see if it goes into May or June maybe. I don't know if they get all the issues in on time. They're doing pretty well on time, but they're doing great stuff over at IDW, and they're cranking out a lot of comic books. Saturday Morning Adventures, Last Ronin miniseries, the Usagi miniseries, the Power Rangers crossover. They're cranking out a lot of comic books. Whatever kind of stuff you like, they're cranking it out for you. The Armageddon game, you like the serious stuff, they have that. You like the jokey, cartoony stuff, they have that. The nostalgic stuff, all that. Wanted to pass along a little bit of news I heard about Mutant Mayhem. This is just a real quick Mutant Mayhem story. Honestly, I'm not too jazzed. They don't want me talking about Mutant Mayhem. I'm not going to talk about it. They don't want us posting and talking about it. No problem. But I did want to pass along something. Seth Rogen was on the Tony Hawk podcast, Hawk vs. Wolf. Tony Hawk and Jason Ellis, two pro skateboarders, two legends in the world of skateboarding. Jason Ellis is a radio star too. And I just wanted to share this. I feel like we just talked about skateboarding the other week, and I made a Tony Hawk Ninja Turtles joke. He could be in Ninja Turtles as Hawk. And he mentions that Seth Rogen is talking about the new Ninja Turtles movie, and Seth Rogen is talking about the soundtrack to Tony Hawk, and he mentions the soundtrack to Mutant Mayhem, the upcoming Ninja Turtles movie, is going to be a lot like the soundtrack to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater video game from the 90s or whatever, the classic video game Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So the soundtrack to Mutant Mayhem is gonna sound like the soundtrack to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game. So very eclectic soundtrack. It had rap, it had rock and roll, it had all types of music, punk, but it had an attitude and had a certain feel to it. It was a party attitude, it was a party vibe, it was a lively, energetic soundtrack, a classic soundtrack, I guess, in video games. I guess this was a huge game when it came out. It was like a very influential game. So Seth Rogen gave a little preview, and he said even some of the songs that are going to be featured in Mutant Mayhem were actually on the soundtrack to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So some of the actual songs from Tony Hawk Pro Skater are going to be on the soundtrack to Mutant Mayhem. So that's exciting stuff from Mutant Mayhem, coming out later this year in August. Full-length Ninja Turtles movie later this year. Pretty neat stuff. Splinter's Dojo says, I saw the leaked storyboard online. I have mixed feelings about the movie. Yeah, we'll see if that is a real storyboard, if it's true, if it's authentic. There are definitely some things I don't like about it either. Some things I do like. So we'll just see how that goes, and we'll see when they make their first initial, actual, formal reveal of the Turtles in Mutant Mayhem. They've had a lot of leaks, but no official reveal. And we'll see. I heard someone talking about Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to do any Super Bowl stuff. Man, I heard another thing that people that were involved with the movie have a legal agreement where they can't speak until June. So they may be waiting until June or May or, May or June before people can talk about it. So they may be waiting a few months to reveal anything. They may wait till June to reveal this, but moving on. I wanted to talk about a Ninja Turtles channel here on YouTube. You know, I like to talk about other Ninja Turtles channels and other Ninja Turtles podcasts. I, of course, have the video Best Ninja Turtles channels on YouTube and Best Ninja Turtles podcasts. I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't know everything, but I am I'm a fan. I don't know everything, but just like you guys, I'm a fan of Ninja Turtles. And I wanted to make this whole channel for other fans. And one of the channels and shows I'm a fan of is Moving Lackpost Studio. It's a Ninja Turtles channel here on YouTube. Another Ninja Turtles YouTube channel. And it's pretty much run by a couple, Jason and Anna. They have a Ninja Turtles podcast as well. So in addition to their channel, Moving Lackpost Studio channel, they have a podcast called Turtle Recall, where they watch the original Ninja Turtles cartoon from 1987. They watch every episode, a married couple. They watch every episode together and they chat about it. And I think it's a great podcast. And recently, Jason did a video and he has his collection in the background. And you guys know I'm nosy. I'm snooping around. We checked out Teddy Gaming Review's collection last week. And this week we're checking out Jason's collection of Ninja Turtle stuff in the background. You post your stuff in the background of a picture and I'm checking your stuff out. I'm judging you. I'm pointing out all the cool stuff. Oh, look at, he's got a cool figure. Ooh, whoa. Oh, limited edition. Whoa. I'm doing my soy face thing. But he's got a lot of cool stuff. And I wanted to check out some of the stuff in the background. You guys recognize any stuff? Just call it out in the chat. Anything I miss, let me know. We'll start pointing out stuff. He's got a nice collection. He's got a big collection. We can just start going through it. I like this geometric painting up at the top in the center. It looks like it's Donatello. It's got this very geometric look. I don't know what that is, but I see some like racing cars. I see some of the re-releases, a Toon Turtle, and he even has the Next Mutation figure. So he's a big fan. Oh, and the 2007 movie at the very bottom, the TMNT Hot Wheels, Toidle says. SR Striker, Krang action figure. Yeah, he has the like 5-inch tall Krang action figure. Toidle, Funko Mystery Minis, good eye. Budward, Next Mutation figure. Yeah, it looks like it's Leonardo. So he's a big fan. He's got the 2007 movie, Next Mutation. I even see Rise over here. I think it's Rise Shredder that he has. And he has the movie stuff as well. I see the Secret of the Ooze, Shadow Master Shredder. He's got the like 2014 poster on the wall. Maybe a Pez, yeah. And I see these Sonic figures. These were like the Rise of the TMNT Sonic figures that came. I think they were the first action figure that came out for Rise of the TMNT. And look at that face too. That's the fan of a Ninja. That's the face of a Ninja Turtles fan. That's a happy guy. Loves talking about his collection. I think I see the Danny figure back there. Pretty cool. So big collection. Definitely a sincere fan. Definitely a true fan. He's not a fake fan. So that's Jason and Anna, Turtle Recall and Moving Lackpost Studio. He's got a lot of stuff too. He's got a lot of cool stuff. 2014 movie, 2016 movie, maybe 2012. So, oh yeah, the world's smallest figures. Good eye, Toidle. You guys know these figures better than I do. So, one fan to another. Big shout out to Moving Lackpost Studio, Jason and Anna. And they recently just had their second child. So let's give a T in the chat for Jason and Anna. T in the chat. T for turtles for Jason and Anna. T for them. They just had their second child. So congratulations to them. Great couple. Moving Lackpost Studio on YouTube. Go subscribe to them. Give them a follow. And check out their podcast too. Turtle Recall. T for Turtle Recall. So big fans of the Turtles. They're creating cool stuff for the Ninja Turtles, and I just wanted to check out his collection with you. So that's the show for today, I think. Is that a pretty good show? Any questions? Was that fun reviewing the videos? I have videos coming out later this week, too. Was that fun reviewing the previous videos? Was that nice to talk about them and go over the comments? If you have any questions, let me know. You know, any comments, whatever. But new videos coming out later this week. I might have a video about the 2012 show. And then I may have a video about the Ninja Turtles and Garfield coming out later this week, but we'll see. I don't know. I have a few kind of in the works, and I'm kind of just plowing through them, but Wanted to say thank you for joining me, of course. Oh, SR Striker. I guess next week is something Valentine's. Yeah, maybe we should do some sort of love-themed show where we go over all the love on the Ninja Turtles. I tried to do a love-themed video last year called April O'Neil Should Always Be Hot. Called April O'Neil Should Always Be Hot. And that came out around Valentine's Day last year. That was kind of a romantic video, I guess. I don't know. It was a little bit silly. Mr. Turtle, we're going to get a Discord. I need to get on to that. I know I've said that a few weeks in a row. Fan47, did you know about the Jack Kirby drawing of TMNT? Yeah, I think that was featured as a pinup in one of the original comic books, right? I know I've seen it before. And I know that was just like a dream for Kevin and Peter to get that because they both love Jack Kirby. He was a comic book artist in like the previous generation before them that inspired them. Maybe in the 50s or 60s or something. I don't know what his generation was, but... Wanted to say thanks again for joining me this Turtle Tuesday and every Turtle Tuesday here on the Ninja Turtle Show. That's another installment, Mutation Nation. Thank you for joining me. That's another installment of the Ninja Turtle Show. Make sure to like the video. Subscribe to my Ninja Turtles channel. This was a long one. I'm out of breath. My voice is hoarse. I think I'm going to go drink some mutagen to get my energy back up. I'm going to turn into Super my Ninja Turtles channel. So just wanted to say thanks for joining me. I'll see you on Thursday and Saturday for new videos. Make sure to check out Teddy Gaming Reviews 2003 video premieres tomorrow. Go check out Moving Lackpost Studio. And like I said, every Turtle Tuesday I'll be here. New uploads Thursday and Saturday, live streams on Tuesday. Golly, that's a lot of talking. I think I've said it all. Perhaps I've said too much. Well, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for joining me. T for you, T for thank you, of course, T for turtles. And it's that time, right? I've said it all. Perhaps I've said too much. There's only one thing left to say. Cowabunga! Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment and share this video. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Ninja Turtles videos like this.